Hello, my friends. So in today's video, we're going to talk about in Lightroom, one simple tool that can help you start to smooth out skin and blemishes. And this simple tool is a little bit, it's simple, yes. It could be a little bit timely to use, and there's definitely going to be some strategies and techniques. But we're going to start to address those right now so we can give you guys the maximum and best results just using Lightroom. So this is the photo that I've taken about 4 weeks ago with my creative team. This is our model Sierra. We're going to focus on just removing some of the freckles that she has. She does have a lot of freckles, so we're going to remove some of those in Lightroom. This is just kind of the before photo. I'm just going to show you guys that as an example. In Lightroom right now, I'm going to show you guys the after photo. So here we are. This is Lightroom already loaded up, ready to go. And we're going to just kind of zoom in a little bit here onto the photo and get a closer look at what we're going to be working with here. So let me zoom out a little bit too tight. So we'll zoom about right there. So let's go over to this panel right here that has our clone tool. And for me, I've already done the before and after. So I'm just going to turn this setting on and off right now. Let me zoom in a little bit closer so you guys can see exactly what's happening here. And a little tip, if you press this and hold the space bar down on your keyboard, you can actually then use the trackpad. I'm using a Wacom tablet, but you can use a trackpad or Wacom tablet and then kind of just drag, and it functions as a hands tool. So I'm using it right now with the trackpad, and then if I go over here on the Wacom, it does the same thing. So this is also the same thing that applies to Photoshop as well. So just a heads up so you guys know that tip. The Wacom tablet is very sensitive to zooming for some weird reason. I don't know why, but it's going to be a little disorienting. I apologize. The zooming on here is just a little bit, the zoom levels are a little weird. But nonetheless, let's kind of go in. So if you guys look a little bit closely here, you can see the before and after. I'm literally just tapping on and off so you can see what we've been able to remove. That's the before, this is the after, this is before. So I've just removed and reduced all the freckles. So let me, I'm going to turn that overlay to always on so you can see all the points that are there. These little spots right here are it functions as kind of a clone / healing brush tool. But over here in this healing panel, this has a couple of different functions in Lightroom. This tool right here is what we're going to be using. It automatically selects based on the size in which that you have this radius here. It selects that size. Based on that, it finds similar color, texture, and tone and neighboring pixels in the image, and then places it there. So we're going to reset, and we're going to just zoom right in and start going ham on it. Ham and cheese, bro. Ham and cheese. Let me zoom right in. Okay. So I am going to make the brush a little bit smaller. Let me zoom back in. And the goal with you using this specific technique, all you got to do is just basically tap, and Lightroom is going to do its best. It's not perfect, but do its best to, based on the selection size and where you're sampling from, the desired place, it's going to look at texture, tone, and color of the neighboring pixels surrounding that area and basically copy and paste it over there and blend according to its algorithm. That's literally all it's doing. It's not perfect when it does this, so it will have some issues here and there, but that's basically what you're doing. So the biggest tip when it comes to using this specific technique, if you want to do this in Lightroom and you don't want to whip out Photoshop or Affinity Photo and things of that nature, you just want to do everything in one application, one platform, one piece of software, you're going to want to basically make this brush just slightly bigger than the blemish that you want to remove. Because this brush, like with all healing brush tools across a lot of actual different applications, get really blurry really quick. Like really quick, man, really quick. It doesn't take them very long to get blurry. They start to lose detail when they sample, especially if you sample multiple times in the same area. It has a tendency of getting blurry pretty quickly. But this is literally all we're doing. Nothing revolutionary here. It's a pretty easy tool to use, but it is going to be a little bit time consuming if you want to make sure you're getting some pretty solid blemish removal, depending on how many blemishes you're removing, but you're going to have to be a little bit patient with it. Obviously, I am recording a video right now, so it's going to be a little bit laggy. My computer's going to start to pretty much wet itself as it realizes what's happening here, and it's starting to realize that right now. So the fans are on. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'll do like maybe another minute or so. This tool is pretty straightforward. The settings I have over here, the only settings that I'm really changing is just the size, which controls how large the sample selection will actually be. Feather I'm leaving at 0. You can basically adjust the feather if you need to. Feathering is going to control how smooth from the outer edges of the circle, how smooth those outer edges are going to be. So it basically adjusts the amount of blending. For me, since I'm doing a very small selection for the most part, I'm zoomed pretty tight in. I just leave the feather at 0. You're welcome to change it and put it to 50 or 100% if you would like it to be softer. I personally just don't change it. I just leave it at 0. Opacity, always leave the opacity at 100. You can obviously change that if you want to basically go over an area multiple times to basically heal it a little bit and blend it a little bit better. I don't personally use it that way, but that is one technique that you can do by lowering the opacity down to say 10, 15, 20%, and then going over an area multiple times. The only caveat to doing that is that you're going to need to zoom very far in because Lightroom only allows you to basically do one sample selection of that area, and you can't overlay, unfortunately. So that is one of the caveats with doing that technique. You're going to have to zoom in pretty tight. For me, this is kind of just the standard zoom level that I use this tool at. I don't really often zoom any closer than this, personally. But this tool is pretty straightforward to use. It works really, really well when it comes to removing like these kind of blemishes here, freckles. It's not going to be good at removing wrinkles, like this wrinkle right here, the smile line. It's not going to be good at removing that. It's not going to be good at removing stray hairs right here. You have to use another technique. Those techniques are typically found in Affinity Photo or Photoshop, or there's a couple other platforms, but usually those. It's not going to be good at removing this wrinkle right here in the forehead. It's not going to be good at removing that kind of stuff. Stray hairs, wrinkles, weird things happening in the fabric, not really going to be good for this tool because, again, it is circular. It's a circle. It's not like a line. It's not something that you can draw a custom shape. It has one shape and one shape only. But let me just do one last thing here. We'll kind of just get rid of this little area. It wasn't really a perfect selection. And we'll go back up to the face. I just want to show you guys a before and after. I've spent maybe about 4 minutes in total so far. So you can kind of see. I'm going to turn off all these points down here so we can basically not get distracted by those. And you can just see the before and after. So before, after, before, after. We're going to scroll up here as well. Before, after, before, after, and we'll do some quick stuff so you can see as my computer kind of struggles a little bit. But that's what we were able to do, man, in just literally 5-6 minutes in total. Obviously, I'm talking and stuff like that, but that's literally it. It's a pretty straightforward tool to use. I guess the biggest practice is when it comes to using this particular tool. Just like with all the healing tools in every single application, they are not good when it comes to edges. So if you're finding yourself trying to remove a blemish on an edge, best practice is going to be to use another tool. If you're only editing and softening skin in Lightroom, unfortunately, you're just going to have to zoom as close as you possibly can to get as close to the blemish that you can. So say, for example, I was trying to remove this blemish right here. This is how much I'd have to zoom in to get rid of this right here. That's just kind of what you'd have to do. As far as this one right here, you're going to have to make the selection larger, and then you're going to hold on, let me go into this right here and then turn these back on to always. You're going to have to select this and then basically drag over to find a similar edge. That's literally what you're going to have to do, and then change your feathering so that it blends to a certain extent. That's going to be the kind of the way that you can tackle edges. If you're going to choose to use this technique on edges, you're going to have to zoom in very, very close. Depends how large the blemish is going to be that you're trying to get rid of, but you're going to have to zoom in pretty close relative to the blemish, get the selection, basically drag, put it to something that's also on the edge, and then blend it using opacity and feather. And you're going to have to play around with that to get those kind of results. So this pretty much wraps up today's video, man. This is a pretty straightforward tool to use. It's very, very easy. It's basically a mixture between a healing brush and a clone stamp. It doesn't do exactly healing. It doesn't do exactly cloning. It's kind of a mixture between both of those. But it functions in that way, and it's very just tap away and change the settings. Basically, if it gives you a funky result and you don't like it, just kind of just drag and be like, hey, I actually want you to replace it with that. And it just replaces it. That's literally all it comes down to using this tool. So that kind of wraps up today's video like I was talking about before. As always, guys, subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe button and like button. So hit the like, man. Hit that subscribe button, man. Oh, come on, man. Bro, come on. Seriously. But outside of that, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, if you have any recommendations as far as specific things that you would like to see, techniques that I know how to do or my team knows how to do that we can actually record some and generate some content on, we'll absolutely do that for you guys. If you have any recommendations as far as how we can make improvements or anything that you saw that was maybe inaccurate, send me a comment, send me a message, reach out through Instagram, reach out through here on YouTube. We are absolutely open to that feedback. But until next time, my friends, peace out.